My name's Scott Austin. I'm Fire Chief of Bonham Fire Department.
I'm Rob Frame, Emergency Management Director of Union County.
All right, can you spell your name to get it on so we make sure we get it right?
Scottastin.
ROBFRAIM as in Mary.
Great. So first of all, tell us what we have going on here.
What we have going on here is a liquid asphalt storage facility tank. It's 2.1 million gallons of liquid asphalt that's in this tank. It's actually on fire in between the outer shell and the actual tank itself. You have about a 6-inch void space in between there that they insulate with, and that's what's on fire, is the insulation in between the tank. They had an accident this morning and ran the tank over about 9 or 9:30. Contained everything they thought was about ready to leave the facility, and discovered somehow or another that they had fire in between the outer shell and the inner tank. They started seeing smoke and fire come out of the seam, so they called us to come down and alleviate the problem.
How long had that fire been burning before somebody noticed it?
According to them, when they ran it over at 9 o'clock, it was 2:17 before they called us. So 5-6 hours, possibly it could have been smoldering, in between the walls. Just really no way to tell exactly how long it had been doing that.
Were there any injuries on the property?
No, we have no injuries on the facility whatsoever right now, but the tank itself has ruptured. We've cooled it down enough to actually get the asphalt somewhat more of a solid state to plug the hole back up. It's sitting at 260 to 280 degrees right now, somewhat like tar. It's actually plugged the hole back up and no longer leaking. But they're taking the outer shell down now. Some of their maintenance crew is working hand in hand with our fire crew to disassemble that outer shell so we can get to that insulation and get it out, because they say it'll hold that 260 degree, 280 degree temperature for 10 days. So we got to open it up and get to it.
What's the likelihood of this thing possibly exploding?
Right now, I feel for sure slim to none. But I always got to be prepared for worst case scenario. So that's the reason I got a lot of outside resources headed this direction. I got Camp Croft Fire Department with their foam trailer and foam here. I got Greensboro Fire headed this way with some foam. We got to have, if this thing goes off, Williams Fire and Hazard Control had already helped me several years ago pre-plan this same type scenario, what would happen. And we got to have 1,500 gallons of foam concentrate, and we got to be able to flow 2,000 gallons of water a minute for an hour if that tank completely goes up and goes in flames. So that's what we were planning on, is having everything here just in case, but we feel pretty slim to none chance of that's going to happen.
Approximately how many firefighters do you guys have on site right now?
Right now, there's probably 50 to 60 firefighters here between all different agencies. We got Southside Fire Department, the Monarch Fire Department, the Philippi Fire Department, of course us as Bonham Fire Department, the City of Union, Buffalo Fire Department, Camp Croft Fire Department in Spartanburg, Cherokee County's got a crew down here. We got a lot of, the state fire is here from Columbia also, so we got a lot of resources. I got Rob Frame here with the Emergency Management Division here in Union. So there's a lot of people here right now.
Great. So there's an evacuation plan in order, voluntary evacuation plan in place. Can you tell me about that?
Yes, that's correct. We just, right now, for safety precautions, we're recommending residents shelter in place or just stay indoors for safety measures. We believe we got it under control at this time, but just for safety precautions, we advise them stay within a 1-mile radius for every resident within a 1-mile radius of the plant, just for safety precautions. Just stay indoors for right now until we can notify them it's safe to return to go outside.
With all these chemical smells in the air right now, are you guys worried that that's going to pose another threat?
That would be DHEC's call. I'm not sure. Really, it's not that bad at this time, so that would be, could be possibly, but that would be DHEC. They'll possibly monitor air control to see if it is a safety concern. But they have been notified along with state emergency management. So all the agencies we have to notify have been alerted. So I feel, confident we're prepared if something was to happen.
Okay. Anything else you guys want to tell me that I need to know that will help this story?
Well, right now, Norfolk Southern Railroad's not probably too happy. We got the railroad shut down because we actually got our water lines supplying water to this facility, to our equipment. Runs across those railroad tracks. So right now we have the railroad shut down. I know they screaming wanting it back open as quick as possible, but we're gonna get it to them just as quick as possible. But we got to make sure we got this thing out.
Have they reached out to you guys at all?
I have actually been in contact with them earlier and told them to shut the railroad down. And
I think they actually had a gentleman on scene.
Yeah,
so
I think they
our
had
incident commander was talking to them, let them know what's going on, and ETA when we can get them back running again.
Can you talk about the tanker, how much actual asphalt it holds? Or
it's 2.1 million gallons in that tank, and it, according to them, it is full. It's at full capacity. That's just one tank. They have another tank that's right beside it that's the same.
We've actually had some release of asphalt, made it all the way through their containment pond. It's not quite full all the way, but it has made it all the way to their containment pond.
Okay, so what's the possibility or chance, likelihood of it reaching the other pod and that catching fire as well, or becoming hot enough that becomes an issue?
That's probably slim to none on that because we're flowing water on it to keep it cool right now. Actually, like I said, the tank itself has quit leaking. All the asphalt that had ran in the ground, across the top of the ground into the containment pond, it has sort of hardened up. It's no longer really running and liquefied. So I feel pretty confident that we got it contained right now.
And just again, what's the estimated time frame when this will be done or resolved?
We're probably still looking at another 3 or 4 hours of this event right now, because we got to get this outer shell of this tank off to actually make sure we have got the fire out itself.
And is the company itself helping with that, or
Yes.
involved
The
in that?
company itself is helping. They got a maintenance crew that is actually down there up in the lift working with our firefighters on the scene to actually cut the bands. This tank actually has metal bands all the way around it holding this outer liner together, and they're cutting the bands, peeling that outer material away right now.
And again, what's the name of this company?
The Southeastern Emulsion, formerly known as the Sloan Asphalt Company.
You talked about getting the outer shell of it off. How long is that going to take itself?
That's going to take probably another hour or two for them to get that off. That won't even get it all the way off. If they take every piece of the outer shell off, they said it probably would take them approximately 2 days to get that done. But right now, where the fire came out and where we know the tank is ruptured, that particular section, along with another section, is what they're taking down. So that's going to take about an hour or so to get that completed.
With this being your jurisdiction, do you guys work with them on some type of security plan to, I guess, map something out just in case if future things were to happen?
Yes, we do. We have worked with them in the past. They have a plan in place. We have a plan in place to, if something happens like this, who we are to notify, and yes, we're working in conjunction with them to eliminate this problem.
And when we're done with this actual incident, we'll have an after-action report to discuss some of the problems or strengths that we've encountered during this situation.
Okay. So right now, you wouldn't say that this is negligence?
No, it was just an accident. That's all it was. They like I said, they was offloading from the rail cars. The asphalt comes in by the rails and the tank cars, and they heat that up with steam and pump that off of the rail cars over into the tank, and that's what they was doing this morning when this incident happened, and they ran one of the tanks over. That's what started it all. We're not really sure exactly what caused the fire in between the walls yet. That'll be determined down the road. Other than we know that some of the product somehow or another got in between the outer wall and the inner wall of the tank.
Great. Anything else you guys want to tell us?
Yeah, we also have a drone in the air.
Okay, that's
So
okay.
that's our drone that you see in the air. That's so we can monitor. It's going to give us the temperature of the tank so we can see basically how hot that tank is on the inside. That's why that's actually supplied for us from Cherokee County.